Welcome to Mobile Apps TV. I'm Rudy Stebby. Today we're going to be taking a look at an app called SalaryBook. SalaryBook is an app intended to keep track of your working hours and calculate the totals you've earned and display them on this easy-to-read dashboard. But before we get started entering time into SalaryBook, we need to set up some defaults. Along the bottom here, you can see there are 4 tabs. There's the dashboard tab, as you see here. We have our calendar tab. We have our reports tab, and then we have our settings tab where we're going to set up our defaults. Let's start by entering the time and work screen. Here's where you set up any job that you do on a daily basis and also attach a preset to that job. And you can also, this is also where you enable any overtime that you want to add to that job. Your presets button here is where you set up the type of work that you do. And you can set up your start time. You also set up your end time, as well as your non-billable time. Non-billable time being time such as if you take a lunch break that you don't bill for, you would enter, if you take a 30-minute lunch break, you enter 30 minutes here, and 30 minutes of your billable time will not be billed. And then finally, you set up your hourly rate for this particular preset. Once you've set up all your preset fields, just click Save, and your preset will be saved. Here's we set up a default template where we can set up your default hourly rates in case you don't use a job or a preset. You can set up your hourly rate here, as well as setting up your start and end times, as well as your non-billable time. And then we set up, finally, the first day of the week that you bill for. Under the Settings tab, here's where you can enter a passcode if you want to secure your SalaryBook app so that no one else can see it. You can turn your sounds on and off here. You can select what your startup screen will be. Your default startup screen is the last screen that you were in before you exited SalaryBook. You can also choose your dashboard, your calendar, or your reports screen to be your default start screen. And we have some advanced settings here where you can back up all your data to a Dropbox, as well as you can delete any and all of your calendar data from this screen here. And lastly, we have an info section here where you can send some feedback, you can rate the SalaryBook, some additional help here, and then you can view more apps that are programmed by appsequence.com. So now that you've set up your defaults, let's jump into the calendar screen and enter some time worked. To do that, you can pick a day if you want to enter some time on a previous day, or if you select today, it will jump to today's date and you can begin entering time worked for today. Just simply by hitting the plus sign in the top right hand corner. You can enter a preset if you like. Here we can enter IT support, but this fills your fields in, but you can also change them. They're not set in stone. So we can change them to something like we started at 6:05, 6:10, and we completed at, say, around 8 o'clock. About something like that. 8:15 we completed the job, 8:16. Non-billable time, we work the entire time, so we want to make sure that we get paid for all of it. Here you can set an custom hourly rate if you want for this particular job. If you need to bill any extra amount, you can enter it here. And then you can add a job to this if you want. If this is for a specific company or specific tasks that you do regularly, you can enter it there. And then you can also add some notes at the same time here. So let's record SalaryBook app. Once you've completed entering all the information for the fields, you select save, and now we've entered that time worked for today. And you can see on the bottom here, it shows that we worked from 6 o'clock to 8:16. Our notes here is we recorded the SalaryBook app, and that was the cost for recording that app. Any day that has time attached to it or work attached to it, you can see there's a gold triangle in the lower right hand corner for the date. By selecting the date, you could see the time worked and the amount owed, if you like. And then if you want to drill down even further, you can just tap on that display, that item, and you can see in more detail what's going on. And then you can make some changes here too. If you want to update that you started 11:25 instead, you can make those changes and save that entry. The double plus signs here helps you walk through a wizard, so you can add or remove work times from the calendar using the calendar wizard. So just for instance, if you hit add here, it'll walk you through the steps for adding to and how much time you want to add to and from, and what days you worked, and then you would just select done and you would be all done. So let's go back. Now, once you've entered the time worked, you want to see how much money's owed to you. Head on over back to the dashboard screen, and you can see 3 more tabs here. We've got today, we've got this week, and we got this month. There's this week, and there's this month. So today we can see we've worked that 2 hours and 16 minutes. Our average hourly rate was $65, and so far we've made $172.33. Clicking on this week will show all the time we've worked. We worked 19 hours and 29 minutes so far at the average hourly rate of $65. And for this week, we've made $1,291.42. And then you can also check on what you've done for the month. A total time of work 27 hours. You've worked 5 days so far, and your average hourly rate still is $65. Now, if you'd like to get a report of those times, head on over to the report screen, and here's where you could change where you want the report, how much you want to display or how much you want to show in your report. How many days per se. So we can say we want to display from August 1st to August 31st at a daily interval or a monthly interval. And we can show either a specific job or all jobs, depending on how many jobs you have listed here. And then we can just click on salary, and this is our report. And we get a graphical display of each point as a day that we've worked and how much money we made on that day. We can also get a time worked report, which shows you, again, each point shows you how many hours we worked that day. So you can get a nice graphical view of time worked and salary earned. You can also export the data. So we can, by hitting the overview tab, you can email it to yourself, and you can get an overview of what the export will look like, and you can send it to whoever you want to send it to, your HR department or to yourself back at the office. And you can also export it as a CSV file via email, or you can save it to your Dropbox account. And that's pretty much how SalaryBook works for you. SalaryBook is currently available for $3.99 in the iTunes App Store and is compatible with the iPhone, iPod Touch, and iPad.